Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be checking out this prop. This is the Gemfan 3052. Now this is their newest 3-inch offering, which you can probably tell takes high inspiration from their 5-inch, the Gemfan 5152 Flash, which I really like a lot and is a really popular prop. If we just compare them quickly side by side, you can see it's pretty much a scale down. If you look at the ending tips closely, you can see the 3-inch version are more aggressive. It's a faster curve, so there are minor differences. So it isn't just a full scale down, so it is nice that they put some extra thought into the 3-inch version. But I mean, come on, it's a baby Flash. It looks so cool. And now it is nice to see that Gemfan is expanding their options of colors. See, we have the Ferrari red, we have this new fluoro yellow, they also have the clear, they got the blue, they got the black, and they have pink. So pretty much most of the colors you'd want are in here, and you can probably tell which one's my favorite. The other one's been flying. These yellow just really stand out well in flight. So if we move these guys out of the way and get a quick weight on these props, let's see what it weighs. It's 1.69 grams, so pretty light there actually. Here is the Lumineer 3040 Tri-Blade, which was my previous favorite prop. 2.11 grams, so half a gram lighter, so that definitely does make a big difference in these small motors for response times. Then we have the new Rotorex 3044T, and that is 1.38, so this is the lightest prop of all. And I think it's quite interesting if we compare, let's see, which one was it? If we compare the Rotorex 3044T to this new Gemfan 3052, if we look at the blade shapes, these are actually pretty close to identical. You can see the Gemfan has a little bit more material, a little bit more of a scoop to it, but if you just hold them up side by side, you can see, just like look at the wingtip endings of these guys. They're just really similar props, which is quite interesting. And I have been flying these. You know, they're not, I don't think these are really my favorite. They just pull too many amps for my liking compared to the original. They are much more durable, which is that's obviously very good with this new material, but I just found I didn't like them quite as much as flying this guy, the 3040 from Lumineer. So that was just some quick info on the props before we get out and fly them, and I have been flying these already. And for the quads I was using, this is my Hyperlight Hyperbaby here. This has Brother Hobby 1407 3600 kV motors here, and this guy I think weighs 165 grams dry, and you know, it flies really nice. It has the KISS compact control all in one. That thing just really, there's like no prop wash at all, but I just found it wasn't the most peppy of quads due to the lower kV, and this guy is my Mode 2 Stiletto. This has the same motors except the 4100 kV motors, and it's got some BL Heli 32 25 amp ESCs, Pico BLX flight controller on beta flight, so it doesn't fly quite as nice and smooth as the KISS, but with the higher kV motors and a slightly lower all-up weight, I find that it has a lot more punch and kick to it on the higher kV. And for the batteries, I normally run these guys. This is the Bonka 850 mAh 4S75C. However, that thing's like a brick. So I got some of these. These are the Tattoo 650 mAh. You can see these things are just absolutely tiny compared to this, 30 grams lighter, which really does make a huge difference for a 3-inch quad. So this is what I use for the tests. So let's get flying them. Okay, here we have the Stiletto to do a line of sight flight of the Gemfan 3052. This guy plugged in this battery. This is a 650 milliamp hour Tattoo 4S there. It comes with an XT30, but I put an XT60 on it to keep it lighter using the 650 here versus an 850. It's 30 grams lighter than my 850 milliamp hours, which is pretty huge for a little 3-inch quad. And I put some yellow props up front and black in the back to hopefully help you guys see it better. And those yellow just look so awesome. Really help with orientation. Really nice vibrant color. Shows up well. 2 minutes. Do some full speed passes while we have a full battery. There we go. And here the 650 tapping out a little bit with some voltage sag, it sounds like. With these 4100 kV motors, I think it's a little bit too much for this battery, but it's just so much more peppy with this battery than my 850s. Yeah, the props sound really nice. They have a little bit quieter of a sound than other 3-inch props, I think, and I think that's due to how aggressive the wingtips on them are. It really helps funnel away the disturbed air and prop wash, especially in turns. You can hear it. Just really clean sounding prop. And man, they just look so nice. The yellow in the air, and then when you bring them down and disarm, then they look even more cool. Just the shape of them. Yeah, they definitely are pretty high speed. They're not the kindest on your battery. I've had more efficient 3-inch props than this, but they're really not that bad. They're pretty comparable to most of the normal 3-inch props I run, because I can still get 2.5 minutes of flight time on this 650 battery, and then my 850s, you know, I get to 3.5, depending on how you fly. But looking at them, you'd think they're super inefficient, but they're really not. But they definitely do perform a lot better on these 4100 kV motors than on the 3600 I tried. Alright, battery's probably just about done. That was 2.5 minutes. So now, let's do some FPV with them. Okay, let's start up with the Stiletto here. Now I am running an 850 milliamp hour battery now. I just find that FPV I'm using more throttle than line of sight, so it really puts a lot of stress on the little 650s. So I'm using 850 here. It's a little bit heavier, but you can see it's still got some good pop and punch to it for a 3-inch here. And now I did retune a little bit for these, but nothing major. But I put them on my Hyperbaby as well, these props, with the KISS compact control in there, and that just flies really nice. The KISS board just flies so nice, with pretty much stock tune. This one has the Pico BLX with Betaflight on it. So here's full throttle there. You can see not too slow, definitely. I think that's just about as fast as my 5-inch on HQ V1S is. So it's definitely a pretty fast little guy. Let's go back into my race rates here. A little more confident on them. So these guys just corner really well. They're really clean in the corners. Obviously there's still some prop wash. Not fully tuned for it,
1 minute.
like I said, but yeah, they just have good grip and control. And if you were looking to race your 3-inch, I think these would probably be one of the props I would use. And now Kebab FPV, like he said before, 3-inch kind of, he doesn't really like the 3-inch category. That's just because the disc loading for the 3-inch props, you have to be like 90 grams to get similar performance to 5-inch. And I kind of do agree, and that makes all the 3-inch props feel similar, with this differences not standing out as much. But I do feel like I like these props, probably my favorite 3-inch. And they are really durable. I've crashed them straight into the ground a few times so far, and I haven't even bent one.
10.
So they're not
9,
bad at all.
8, 7,
for durability.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Uh-oh, I think my battery is done. Yep. See if I can make it back to me before the video blacks out. And this was an 850, and I just barely got 2.5 minutes there. So it's just something to be careful of. If you're running 4100 kV motors, they are going to pull a little bit more amps than normal with these higher kV motors, so you need to be careful of your flight times. Alright, so we're back after that. I've been flying these guys for about a week now, so I've had plenty of batteries through them. And once again, the main quad that I flew them on was the Mode 2 Stiletto, simply because it had the higher kV Brother Hobby motors, and I just found that that really increased the flight performance and power versus the lower kV. Now I do have some of these guys. This is the new Gemfan 1606 3500 kV that is supposedly supposed to be matched to the torque curve of this 3052 prop. However, 1606 for 3-inch I think is a little bit overkill, as well as 3500 kV is even lower than the 3600 on this quad here, and I just didn't find that that had the performance that I was looking for. But I will be testing these out, swapping these into the Hyperbaby soon. However, I think this is really going to excel at a 4-inch motor, so that is, I will also be doing a 4-inch build with these coming soon. So overall for the props, I felt like they performed pretty well. They weren't as hard on the battery as I was imagining, just looking at the 3052 name. Obviously 52 is an advanced ratio, but just looking at the steepness and pitch of the prop, I was expecting them to be super harsh in the battery. But even using these little 650 milliamp hours, which are just absolutely tiny, on the 4100 kV setup, I was still able to get 2.5 minutes on this guy, and the 2.5 to 3 minutes, however, a little bit longer on the 850 with the 4100 kV motors, and that's pretty much the same kind of flight times I was getting with the Rotor X 3040T and 3044T and the Lumineer 3040 on that same quad. So I really don't feel like the efficiency took a big hit compared to some other popular 3-inch propellers. As for durability, I've crashed them quite a few times so far, and I haven't broken or bent even one of them. It's just so small for a 3-inch prop, and they're really light. They're out of a durable material. If they do bend, they'd probably bend right up here at the hub, just like the 5-inch versions, but there's just so much less material on these guys, and the torque lever is so much smaller than a 5-inch prop. I really don't think durability is going to be an issue with this type of plastic compound. Now, one thing I do complain about is on the bags. You can see there's no little slot or rip already made in them like the 5-inch versions. I don't know why they left that out, but it makes these bags hard to open without some kind of knife. So shame on you, Gemfan. Come on, put a slit in there. Now, like I said in the flight review, it's really hard to sort of judge 3-inch propellers, just because if you look at the disc loading of a 3-inch prop, for it to perform ideally, it has to, the build has to be super ultralight, way lighter than what I have here. So when you have a heavy overloaded prop and quad like these are, even though they're not that heavy of 3-inch quads, it just, most props kind of feel the same, and that's kind of what I feel here compared to these other two propellers I've been using. There's very small differences, and a lot of people, you probably wouldn't even notice it. I did find these cornered maybe a little bit better. I'm not sure if that's due to the aggressive wingtips on them. They just sounded really clean in prop wash and corners. They just really sounded good there. But I'm not going to say there's a clear 3-inch winner when you compare these together. I think you're really not going to be going wrong choosing either 3 of these, but these are definitely my top 3 3-inch props. Alright, so that was the end of the video. Thank you to Prop City for sending these guys into test. There will be a link down below if you are interested in more info on them, as well as there will be full description and links to the parts on these guys if you're interested in these 3-inch builds as well. I'll leave all the links down below. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.